and welcome to Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you let go of perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson, a life coach in Portland, Oregon. I'm a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today we're talking about ways you can cut yourself some slack. Hey,
Janine. Hey, Shannon, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm all right, too. I'm clad head to toe in wool. I'm wearing that little, I don't know what you call it, thing that you gave me, that hat quarter zip, and I have a wool shirt underneath, and I have on wool leggings and wool underwear. I've gone over the bend.
You have, because I'm thinking, like, can I wear fewer clothes? I don't think I can.
I know. Well, it's only 88 degrees here, so.
Yeah. It's we're gearing up for a big heat wave this weekend, and it's sort of weird if you talk to someone and they don't mention it. It's stranger than if they do.
It's the topic of conversation. Yeah. It really is. I brought it up to Barry when I like to check your weather periodically, and I brought it up to Barry. Like, holy cow. I mean, so it's even, your weather is a topic of conversation here.
At your house.
At our house, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, almost every single conversation I've had with someone, like, I've had to call some service providers, and I had to go to a couple meetings today, and every single person said, "Oh, how are you going to stay cool this weekend?"
Yeah, right. Well, that's a nice thing to think about, planning how you're going to do that. But that's one of the things that prompted this topic, right? Was, how the weather makes bad weather, either extreme weather, makes everything worse. And
yes. Yeah, and I feel compelled to say to let people know that in Portland, historically, we only used to get about 10 days a year over 90 degrees. Although, that's clearly changing. The last few years, we've had more like 20 to 30 days. But we are supposed to have triple digits for 3 days in a row, with Sunday being 115 degrees. It is not normal for us.
No, that's rough. And it wasn't long ago you didn't have air conditioning. Right?
Right. Most people don't have air conditioning here.
I mean, that's brutal.
Yeah. So, I'm not just being a big wimp. It's going to be seriously hot here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's those days in a row that make it especially challenging.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is that it's supposed to drop down into the 70s each night, which will help.
Yeah, that is good news.
But yeah, so we were talking about that and the extreme temperatures in so much of the West, and particularly the Southwest. And I was talking with a client earlier this week who, they've been having 117, 118 degree days in Phoenix, and how hard it is to get anything done when it's like that.
Yeah. Well, you're spending all your time talking about the weather.
Well, yeah, because you have to.
Right. But really, truly, it's hard to get comfortable. And I'm somebody who much prefers heat to cold, but I do acknowledge that there's only so much you can do in terms of taking off clothes or unbundling if you have to go out in public when it's really hot out. I mean, there's... and, of course, it's dangerous. I mean, for those people who don't have homes or have to work outside. I mean, it's not just a matter of comfort, is it? It's a matter of safety.
Yeah, absolutely. And this client had said, that she felt like for these really, really hot days that they should have the equivalent of snow days. Like, you shouldn't have to work because it's so hard to work. I mean, it's just so hard to be productive on when the weather is so extreme.
Right. And so acknowledging that, and I mean, it'd be nice if employers acknowledged that and did that, but in the absence of that, acknowledging that in your own life and cutting yourself some slack in terms of what you're actually able to get done.
Yes.
It seems like a good thing to do for self-care.
Right. And, the other thing is that different areas of the United States are different, but, almost everywhere is in some way or another coming out of pandemic restrictions. Oregon has had some of the tightest restrictions, I think, for the duration. And our governor just announced that they've been aiming for a goal of having 70% of the population vaccinated, and then she would lift the restrictions. And we're at like 68.9. But she said that she will lift the restrictions on June 30th if we don't meet 70% by then. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah, and there will still be some mask wearing requirements, but that all of the restrictions on number of people and households and all of those things that have been in place for the last year and a half will be lifted.
Oh, that's fantastic. So around here, where I don't know what the percentage is, but it's way lower than 68.9% vaccinated. It's like there's no one's wearing masks. You go to Home Depot, nobody has a mask on. It's crazy. I got my hair cut this week, and no one was wearing a mask. I mean, and my haircut place had been extremely conservative, but I think they're embracing the CDC recommendations, and they're saying, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear masks then. But of course, I know that like half the people aren't vaccinated, yet they're not wearing masks either. So it's remarkable. But boy, that freedom is going to feel good for you guys who have been really living with tight restrictions.
Yeah. And also it's a little stress inducing after really getting myself okay with the idea of not doing anything, and that it's dangerous to do things, that there's this potential danger, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, go do whatever you want. It's like it's like an arbitrary line.
Right. Yeah. It does seem really strange. I got used to it so fast, but yeah, it's because I'm just having faith that the efficacy of the vaccine and the vaccination will protect me. I mean, although I understand it's not 100% effective, but I'm hoping I'm in the 90%.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's but in this applies certainly to the pandemic, to extreme weather, but it applies to everything, right? We could all stand to cut ourselves some slack. The thing that popped into my head was I was thinking about people who are grieving. Like, your mother passed away not just 6 months ago, right? And I remember after my mom passed away 6 years ago, how my brain did not function properly for quite a while. And I had to really cut myself a lot of slack, that I couldn't jump right back into my business and run it efficiently. And luckily people were awfully nice about it. But there's just so many areas where you deserve that, right? Yeah, you deserve to. We always deserve it, probably, actually.
Right. Yeah, and I think that now is a good time, as people are going back to work and things are we're kind of in another transition, to really think about what's important and cutting yourself slack if you're not wherever the other people are, or if something feels harder than you expected it to, or wherever you're at, because there is also this sort of, I don't even know what you call it, like ambient grief, I don't know, ambient loss, or just the loss of the last year and a half, and so there's this sort of free-floating grief that people may be feeling, Like, we just sort of went through this really hard thing. It's kind of over, but not really over. And, but we're, sort of wanting to pretend that it didn't happen because it was not fun or easy.
It sure wasn't, right. And I don't know about you, but I have this sort of dread that it's going to happen again, or that we think we're out of it and we're not.
Right.
And that's sort of this dark cloud over everything as well.
Yeah. So I think it is really helpful to be in that mindset of, whatever you're feeling is okay, and cut yourself some slack. Like, you don't need to be anywhere other than where you are.
I like that. I was just thinking, I would like to have some sort of mantra to repeat to myself when I realize I need to cut myself some slack. And I rather like, you don't have to be anywhere other than where you are. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. That's good.
Maybe there's an easier way to say that to yourself.
Maybe, because I was really proud of myself for getting it right.
I couldn't believe you did, because I'm not sure that I could. But I think, I will often say to myself, like, be like, this is just fine. I'm fine right where I am. Like, I don't need to be anywhere else. This is fine right where I am. And trying to meet myself where I'm at, as opposed to, creating stress by feeling like I should be somewhere else emotionally or physically or cognitively or whatever.
I'm thinking I'm fine where I am. I think that might work for me.
I like that.
Yeah.
The other thing I just thought of is there's been a lot of napping at our house of late. And I remember sort of thinking, like, I slept 7.5 hours last night. Why do I need to lay down for a nap and then end up sleeping for 2 hours? Like, I shouldn't need to sleep that much. It's like, well, if I'm tired, I'm tired. Cut myself some slack.
Right.
And, I don't fall asleep normally in the afternoon. So if I sleep for 2 hours, it's probably because I needed it.
Exactly. And my mother, as you know, was narcoleptic, right? So sleep was a thing in our house.
Yeah.
And she always said, if I slept like 10 hours, which would happen fairly often, she'd always say, oh, you must have needed it. I'm like, excellent. Because talk about taking away the guilt over oversleeping or feeling like a sloth. You need it. Yeah. You're giving your body some rest here when it needs it. When you've been through a lot of stress and all that. So that's good. Barry is napping a lot as well. I never nap. I rarely nap, but I did nap. I think it was last weekend or sometime. Yeah, not long ago. I actually fell asleep during the afternoon in bed. It was unbelievable, but it sure felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is a kindness, right? Especially if you're tired. It's not I feel like people feel lazy or sloth-like if they take a nap. But if you can do it, if you are lucky enough to work from home and you can do it, then think of it as cutting yourself some slack. Yeah.
Right. Well, and I like what you just said a moment ago about being kind to yourself. It's a kindness. And like allowing yourself the latitude to take care of yourself however you need to.
Right, and giving yourself the benefit of the doubt that if you have an inclination that you need this, your body needs this, or your emotions need it, or your psyche needs it, then you do. Trust yourself.
Yeah. And I think it's also useful to think about this sort of proactively and, maybe give some more thought to reducing what you're trying to get done. Instead of having a big long to-do list that you end up feeling bad about because you can't get to all of it, what if you cut yourself some slack by reducing your tasks to something that is easy, that is manageable, that you know for sure you can get done. You can always add more to it, but, sort of take some of that stress off of yourself of feeling like you never get to everything.
Oh, I love that. I actually wrote a blog post about this not very long ago called Expectations Are Everything. And it was really about my task list and how I'll have this huge task list and I won't get everything. Let's say I have 20 items on my task list and I get 16 of them done. Instead of feeling successful for getting 16 things done, right. I feel bad for not getting the 4 things done. And so I was ruminating on trying to keep my task list shorter so that I can feel good about it, celebrate the successes. That's a good way to cut yourself some slack.
Yeah. And just looking for the places where you can say no and really be mindful of your capacity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking about our episode a couple of weeks ago where you mentioned that you had to make the hard decision not to take a class that you had signed up for.
Right.
And it's the same sort of thing. You had to make that decision for yourself and not beat yourself up about it. It was the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's hard to do, but I think there's part of me who felt like the grown-up thing to do would be to suck it up and do it anyway. Mm-hmm. But I think the real grown-up thing to do is to recognize that it was more than I could comfortably do, and I'll have the opportunity to do something similar some other time, and to let it go and be okay with it.
That's excellent. I just read a book that it was from the Amazon First. Is that what that's called? The program where you get to preview books.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The one that I downloaded this month or in June, which was called The 7-Day Switch. Did you happen to download that one?
I didn't.
Well, I kept thinking of you, and I think our readers would enjoy it. It's a novel, but I won't go into it except to say one of the protagonists is a productivity expert, and she works way too hard, and her expectations for her life were messed up to the extent that she was really unhappy. And it's sort of a whimsical book, but it's got a really great, I thought, a great message. So I will put a link to it in the show notes.
Oh, that's great. I don't think I've downloaded my June 1st read yet, so maybe I'll do that one.
Oh, excellent. Well, times are running out.
Yeah, I know. We're almost at the end.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I just want to encourage everyone to be kind to themselves.
Yes. Wouldn't it be, if we can have that impact with this episode, wouldn't that be a great thing if people, our listeners, became kinder to themselves?
Yes. Yes, I would love that. So we would love to hear from you. How are you being kinder to yourself? How are you cutting yourself some slack? You can let us know on social media. On Instagram and Facebook, we're at Getting to Good Enough. On Twitter, we're at GTG Enough. You can go to the show notes at gettingtogoodenough.com and leave a comment there. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 413-424-GTGE, which is 4843. And until next time, this is Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And Janine Adams in St. Louis, Missouri.
And we hope that good enough is getting easier for you. Sounds really good now.
Yeah.